One surefire way to end a relationship is to speak to each other out of anger. Because when you speak to each other out of anger, you will say things about the person. You will seek your 1 pound of flesh. You will say things intentionally to try to hurt them. And although they may forgive you, they will never forget what you said. Look, I love my wife. Don't get me wrong. I love her. Love her to life. And I'm sure, especially with her coming out of the skincare industry, that these bags under my eyes are not favorable to her. This is why she had these little skin cream things right next to my bed that I'm supposed to put on every night. The little darkness. But my dad had the same thing, you know. And I'm not that kind of guy to be every night. I got to have this whole regimen. But one thing I can tell you is that in the years and years that I've known her, she has never said anything to me out of anger. That when we have had a dispute, we've never raised our voice in the dispute. We've never yelled at each other. We maintain a calm disposition. And when and the one or two times where things were a little bit more emotional or heated, we took time away from each other before we spoke to each other, because you don't ever want to speak out of anger. The moment you speak out of anger and you start criticizing the person, you can't get that back. It's one thing to criticize the character, the behavior was something that they did. I mean, not the character, but the behavior, something they did. You know, I used to tell my children all the time, and I tell other people this: I love you, but right now I don't like you. Meaning that I don't like what you did. That the behavior you're demonstrating is not what I like. I know you as a person, that you're better than that. I've seen you better than that, and I know you're going to continue to be better than that. But right now, at this moment, at that, what you just, I know it's not you. That is, it is basically affirming the person, criticizing the behavior or the action, and then reaffirming the person. I've always been that way. Don't know where I originally got it from. It was further supported by this book called The 1 Minute Manager, and I use that effectively as a manager and as a business owner. But I can tell you, people don't forget the words, especially when you say something to hurt the person. And if you want to end a relationship, this is one surefire way to end it. Let me tell you two stories. Story time. One is somewhat like this, but not fully. I'm gonna make it quick. So my kid's mother, we was married for 17 years. Got married right out of high school. I messed up the relationship. Fully accept that. So I was part of a sales marketing group, and they encouraged us to go out and get to know each other so that we can pass sales to each other, pass referrals. There was one young lady. I always thought she was attractive, but I never tried to do anything towards her because at the time frame I was married when I first joined the group. But then once I got divorced, we went out for lunch. And while we was out for lunch, although I didn't really make any advances toward her, we started talking about relationships because she knew that I had been newly minted divorced, and she was asking me about getting back out there. But then she said, "You have 3 kids, 12, 8, and 6. No woman is going to want you." Now here I am, like 37, 38 years old, and this is what she's telling me, that no woman is going to want me. So then fast forward about 6 months to a year later, and she starts calling me, wanting to come over for dinner. But as everyone who knew me at that time frame knew, that I can make plans with you, but I always told them, because I am dating for marriage, if I'm getting ready to go on a date with someone, I will reschedule with you. So I rescheduled with her 3 times. And finally she got fed up. And she told me, "I was trying to come to your house and have dinner with you because I wanted to seduce you, and then maybe we could date." And I told her, "Why would I date you? You told me that no one is going to want me because I have 3 small kids." Now, it is not vengefulness that I said that, it was logic. Why would I date a woman who has already made it clear that dating a man or being with a man with kids she doesn't like, she wouldn't do it, and so she is not going to be a good bonus mom to my children? And my children are very important. If you're going to date me and it's a blended situation, you have to be willing to fully engage. She wouldn't be able to do that, so why would I? And I explained that to her. And she was like, well, just forget all of that. No, I'm not forgetting all that. Second story was dating this young woman. We had about 2 weeks of craziness going on. And most of the craziness, she initiated. And this is when I started realizing that she was not the type of woman who would ever apologize for her mistakes. She just wants you to forget them. So she made a mistake, was supposed to come. She went to an event. I had gathered all my kids, her kids. We were supposed to all go to the movies. We're sitting there waiting on her. She's supposed to leave, but she's not leaving. And we're waiting. We missed the one time frame because it was just going to the movies and then dinner and games after. And then we missed the one time frame, so now we got to wait an extra 2 hours. But she's not coming. Well, extra hour. And then when finally I'm like, where are you? She gets mad and goes home, leaving me with my kids and her kids. It was that type of bullshit that was going on, right? So we get to a point where there was a piece of marketing. She was at my house. Her and her daughter were at my house. Get a piece of marketing. She reads it. She's upset because of that whole issue with the movie thing. And so she's downstairs. And she sees a piece of marketing. It's a common piece of marketing that people do in my industry, in the industry I was in. And she comes upstairs and she starts throwing things at me and swinging at me. Now, I had already explained that if only one act of violence towards me in the relationship is over. I don't care. It's done. I don't do violence in any format. I watched the man beat my mom, so I will never accept violence, ever. So one act of violence in the relationship is over. There is no coming back from it. And in her violent tirade, because about a few months prior, I had a night where Ping Ping just wasn't into it that night. So she decides to yell at me and say, and that's why you got a soft Ping Ping. Okay. So a few days later, she calls, she apologizes for everything. Okay, I accept your apology. Then she tells me that she wants to come over and have sex with me. Why? I got a soft Ping Ping. You see, you cannot try to hurt somebody. And the reason why I said that was not out of being vindictive or pettiness or anything like that, because when I want to be petty, I can be petty. I don't have a problem with being petty, right? But when I said that, I explained to her, I cannot be with a person who would claim that they have feelings for me, but yet you desire to hurt me. You try purposely to hurt me. You don't care enough about me to be able to walk away from a situation, to stay away while you're mad. And we've had that conversation because I have it with everybody. Anybody I've ever talked to or dated or have that conversation. If you are angry to the point where you are talking to me and you know you're mad, so walk away. It is your best bet. Because when you say something and you purposely try to hurt me, you have shown that your emotional state at that moment, that the love you have for me is far less than the hatred that you have for me. And if you hold hatred for me, how can you ever truly claim to love me, right? So you need to take that into your own life. No one who can call you all kinds of names and utilize information that they have about you to try to hurt you, utilize that information to try to hurt you, they don't love you as much as they hate you. And you may say I'm being extreme about it, but I'd rather make sure that someone cares enough about me to be able to come and talk to me peacefully and level-headed than to come to me with all the anger and all the pain and are seeking to hurt me, because I would never do that to them. What do you guys think? Share, comment, subscribe to the page. Always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey and good vibrations, and know when to shut all the hells up.